Welcome back to Where is the Money? So it is time. It has begun. All of the TEMU and similar companies that's been shipping stuff over to America at record rates for very cheap prices without any tariff tax, well, that's kind of ending.
Chinese e-commerce site TEMU says it is overhauling its shipping model as a key U.S. tariff exemption expired on Friday. TEMU had previously used what's known as the de minimis exemption, which allowed shipments of goods worth $800 or less to come into the U.S. duty-free. But that loophole has now expired as the result of an executive order President Trump signed last month. On its website, TEMU says there are no import charges or extra costs on delivery for items purchased from local warehouses.
The rule that allowed these companies to exist, that they built multi-million billion dollar industries on, shipping this cheap stuff over here, has now ended and has started to take effect. And the fallout is swift, is drastic. And a lot of these people, customers, business owners, executives of these organizations are scrambling to try to figure out what to do.
Dino, you were saying something about TEMU and SHEIN and tariffs. What's going on?
Oh, they just ended this thing called de minimis shipping. I can't even pronounce that. De minimis shipping. What does that really mean is, in the past, anything less than $800 coming into the country, small dollar value shipments, were never tariffed. No one cared. The customs and enforcement never looked at that. That was all exempt, right? Now that just ended. So basically now, anything coming in, even though it's under 800 for a small amount, will be subject to whatever the tariff structure is with that country. So basically, if you were receiving something from China is at 50% for that particular category, whatnot, they're gonna tariff that shipment less than $800. They're gonna tariff everything. No one can escape, because basically, how the state of the international trade thing when it comes to de minimis shipping was a loophole. So a lot of what companies did was they would ship all their stuff to Mexico in a warehouse. And then in that warehouse, they'll break out the shipments into smaller shipments and then ship it across the border, because those smaller shipments don't get tariffed.
Under $800.
Under $800, right. But that's gone now. They're putting a stop to it. So now everything, I don't care, all the TikTok shop, SHEIN and TEMU people,
yeah,
right? All that shit's gonna get hit, all of it. But the bigger problem is not that. It's a tough infrastructure to start in. You've never tariffed and you've never charged duty for all these shipments before. Now you're doing it, so it's a chaotic mess. The shippers, there are some shippers in other countries now, they don't, the postal services over there do not want to ship because they don't know, what do we need to report to you guys, how much this is valued, what's in there, because in the past they didn't give a shit. Right? Now they have to. So there are some country shippers right now, like postal services in Switzerland and stuff, they don't want to ship to us anymore. There's a lot of other countries because it's confusing. And then also for the importers over here, they don't even know. A lot of small businesses who ship smaller shipments like that for their products, it's been forever, they never have to worry about it. And all of a sudden, I'm going to get charged. How am I going to get charged? Who do I pay it to? It's just confusion right now. But the bottom line is, this freebies of anything less than $800 not getting hit with any kind of tariff or duties, they stopped that now. Now they're going to tariff everything.
It was a lot of confusion to them because they don't have the infrastructure set up to handle this type of transaction for every single teeny tiny piece of item that comes over to the United States. But they got to figure it out, or just stop shipping to the United States altogether, which is what some sellers has done. But those that are still trying to make it work are struggling to understand how much to charge the customer, the upsell, the bulk rate. It's a lot of things to consider, but it's gonna cripple a lot of these companies. I think clothing is gonna be a big one as well. Your SHEIN, H&M, a lot of this fast fashion is going to get hit very, very hard. So don't count on your fast fashion to be fast or cheap, because it's not going to be now that we are here.
To all my US customers, I'm so sorry, but we have to halt all of your orders that's going to US at the moment. We have to cancel it due to your president foresight because of the whole new tariff and all these changes that is about to happen with the de minimis. Basically, all of the orders, all of the parcel that is under $800 before, prior to this, has been exempted of duties and tax. It's called low value cost, right? So that has been doing well and wonder for all of our parcels that's going to the US, especially even with coffee shop and small like market pops up. You guys just get about a few kilos anyways. That rules or that exemption of the $800 or free tax will be expired this Friday. Right now it's Monday, and that's the 29th. Yeah, August 29th. Is when every parcel going to the US will attract tax and duties and tariff especially. I did a bit more research just to see if it's like feasible to accepting US order, and unfortunately it is not. Let's say this tea sift here, we sell at the moment for $8.50 AUD, right? But because it's a stainless steel aluminium, there is a tariff of 50%, and there's also additional tariff of the sales tax and anything on top of that. So the total tariff applicable to this item is $6.50, when the item itself is $8.50. That is 82% of tariff alone, let aside the actual cost of value. The tariff cost can sometimes even outweigh the value of goods, so it's not really feasible to even send you this from Australia, given the country of origin is China. What will determine the tariff is going to be based on the country of origin. Say this is from Japan, this matcha to go from Australia to US, country of origin is Japan, there will be an additional tariff of 15%. So let's say you buy this for 120 AUD, you have to pay an extra $17 AUD before USPS will release this and deliver to you. So all of that additional cost on top is really hard to determine as a business if, let's say, you buy a kit. So there's like the matcha, the bowl, the sift, the spoon, and the whisk. How can we truly know what is the value fully that you have to be expected to pay on top? So in order to avoid any disappointment, we have to stop it for the meantime until we get a better understanding of how will it be paid, and how will the Custom Border Force in the US want to be paid, how would it be notified, and what's the system to go about. But for us as a store, we have to halt it a few days before. Reason being because the parcels that go to the US today, Monday, hopefully it's going to be clear for departure, leaving the flight and everything by the time of this weekend. If we're sending the parcels just within the day, the last day, then I'm pretty sure that those parcels will be stuck and the customer will come back with a lot of disappointment. For how long? I don't know. We have to wait at least another few weeks to see how the rules will play out. How will these customer duties and taxes be paid? Until we know all of that better, we can resume the US order. But for the meantime, we cannot send you any matcha, unfortunately, from Australia to the US. And I apologize for this.
So this business owner and seller is breaking down what's involved with this new rule and why she has made the decision to not ship to the United States altogether, because no surprise, it's not worth it. And I guess that's the intended goal with the administration is, listen, you want to send your cheap stuff over here, I'ma tax you. If you make it in the United States, no tax. But it's gonna be an increase either way. The cheap stuff can't come over, it's gonna be at a higher rate than doing it in the United States, which is gonna be a little higher as well, but probably not as high as the overseas products. Or who knows, depending on the product, we don't know. But all I can say is buckle up. It's gonna get rough out here. Put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Where Is the Money? Talk to you soon.